All right, perfect. So here we have some people joining in. All right, so good call. You just got accepted in, and we are just starting our training. So I should be sharing the screen, and now I'm going to go right over here. So this is just this is Kay's website up on the board, and the reason I'm showing that is that a new program that I'm unveiling today. A couple new things. Number one, forewarn. I am now going to cover that as a brokerage expense. So that will be free to anybody that wants to get forewarned. If you prepaid it, I'll refund you back for the remainder of the months. And what forewarn is, it'll be free now. You have it downloaded on your phone. You can put anybody's cell phone in, and it will pull up their history, a little bit about them, their age, their address, any criminal activity. And so it's going to be another avenue to be safe. And at the end of the day, when I go to bed, I want to know that the 140 plus agents that we're going to have by the end of this week, that I can do my part in making your job safer. So we do know we plug in that phone number of the person you're going to meet. You get to see their history on forewarn. All you have to do is text me that you want it and your email, and I'll add you into that. And you'll get an invite, and you'll accept it, and then you'll download that app, and then you'll have it. But that's going to be a free service provided by DHS Realty. So so that'll help with safety. And then the second thing is, part of my onboarding with every agent is 1,000 business cards, a name tag, and I'm incorporating where Jenny Gilchrist will set up your domain and have it pointed to your independence picture and bio on our website. And then she'll also forward your email to your Gmail. So using an example, Kay, right now, if I typed in, yeah, let me get it because I can't. So I'm about to type in Kay's domain name, and it's going to go directly to his so that's Kay's domain name that he bought. His email is, what would you pick? K, Odie? Yeah, k@kodinicola.com. So when you hit enter, it goes directly to his page. What you don't want is somebody finding you this way. You put my website on there, DHS. You don't want somebody finding you this way, because when they go to this website, which I like it, but you're going to click meet our team, and that's how they're going to find Kay. Well, when they click on meet the team and they get a list of 140 agents, it's alphabetized. And whether it's first name or last name, Kay's in trouble, because unless your name is A, you're not going to be first. And that means that you have the opportunity to have that lead given to somebody else, because they might see somebody they want to work with. So as you scroll down, and Kay's at the bottom, because we add people that are the newest at the bottom, you'll see that Kay's about to load right here. And now when that person clicks on Kay, it goes to the same website that now he can give them directly. Okay, so now that's going to be covered by DHS Realty, and you'll be in touch with Jenny Gilchrist for that. All right. So getting on to today's training. What I wanted to cover for about 30 minutes, and then I'm going to do 15 minutes of goofing around on MLS, is zip forms. And there's about 1 million ways to get to zip forms. What I like is I like to go to texasrealestate.com. I just think that we're comfortable with what we know, and this is just a great website. So I go here, I type in texasrealestate.com. I'm going to hit login. If you hit login, it's going to have your default email and password. You're going to hit login one more time. You'll go right back to the same screen, and now it'll say, "Hi, Doug," and in the right corner, it'll say zip forms. Once you see your name, and right here, it's about to say, "Hi, Doug," all you do is click on zip forms. And whenever we write up an offer, whenever we work with a buyer, seller, tenant, or landlord, we are going to go into this website. And when the screen turns blue, you know you're about ready to lock and load. I have preached until I'm about to pass out that once you get to this screen, the only tab you will ever click on is the new tab, and it's right here. You will never, ever click on the templates tab right there. By default, it will always be in transactions. So always, always, always leave this part alone. All you'll do is click on new. And when you click on new, you'll have 5 boxes, but you only care about the first 3. Listing is for a seller. Purchase is for a buyer, and lease is for a tenant and or a landlord. So let's start with the listing. I'm going to select listing. I'm going to name it. Let's say I name it Dave is my client. Okay, that's good enough. I'm going to select residential always. And when I say always, I don't care what it is. If you want to simplify this, just always, always, always for category, pick residential. All you're going to do is go to this drop down. It says select template, and you have 4 options. It'll say tenant, landlord, listing, or buyer. A buyer is a buyer, a landlord is a landlord, listing means a seller, and tenant. So let's say that it's a listing because we said it was. I'm going to select that, and then all you do is scroll down and hit save. The next screen you'll be looking at is a white summary square right there. And again, all you do is go 2 tabs over to documents. Once you go to documents, you have all your forms loaded. So let's say that I wanted to send an IBS to Dave. I'd open it, but I don't need to because it's already been templated for all y'all. And the last line will be your information. So you don't even have to open the IBS. It's already been pre-done. The listing agreement. Well, I'm going to open it. And at the top, I'm going to put Dave's name, Dave Wilson. Now, I'm probably going to use more of a legal name that's on the tax roll. Let's just say that Dave's single. I'm going to put his name. If he was married, I'm going to put his wife's name. What's your wife's name? Hillary, with 1 L, isn't it?
2 L's.
Hillary Wilson. Okay. Now, I could put the address there, but I'm going to put it here, so it really doesn't matter. I'm going to go down to property description. I'm going to have the tax roll, and let's say it reads lot 4, block H, Crystal Creek subdivision. Okay, city of Plano, known at Collin County, known as 8005 Fall Meadow Circle. Okay, you scroll down. The top of the next page. Let's say that Dave lives in an HOA. It's already marked. The reason why I template it like that is because most houses have HOAs. So if it doesn't, then you uncheck mark it. But by default, it'll be there. I usually leave the price blank because I'm going to negotiate that at the listing. Sometimes when you talk to a seller and they say, yeah, I want to list it at $500,000, and you're not meeting them for 2 days, over those next 2 days, they decide they want to list at 520. So I leave it blank and we kind of just fill that in with a pen. I always click on the date and I'll pick whatever day I'm going to meet him. Let's say I'm meeting him tomorrow. So that's July 10th. And then I usually pick 4 months out. There's no rhyme or reason to the amount of months you have. I always try to make it match the day so it looks like there's some uniformity. You scroll down, you've got everything templated. Everything. You don't have to touch anything. Hey, oh, you're fine, Renee. You go all the way to the, you just keep going. We're done. So now all you're going to do is hit save. And the thing with working with a seller is that you print this. You don't e-sign it. So all you have to do is really, you go here and you open up the IBS and you print it. You hit the green back button. You open up the listing agreement. You print it. You hit the green back button. You open up the seller's disclosure. Those are your 3 forms you need. You print it, and now you're done. Okay, so that's working with a seller. All right, now we're going to go back and we're going to act like we're working with a buyer real quick. We're going to do the 4. I think I can get them each done in about 10 minutes. So again, now we have Joe Blow who calls you and he's a buyer, and you've shown him some homes. You gave him a little packet when you met him about the IBS, your bio, your resume, and when you left him, you said, hey, Joe, if you like me and I like you, I'm probably going to send you some forms, some office forms, and I just wanted you to know it's probably going to be hitting your email tonight. I'll text you when I send it. So now you're going to go back to your computer and you're going to type in texasrealestate.com, and you're going to get this screen. And generally, it's going to keep you logged in, so it'll say, hi, Renee, hi, Doug, hi, Kay, hi, Dave. All you do is hit the blue zip forms and your screen goes blue. When your screen goes blue, This is repetitive, so I like doing 4 in a row, a buyer, seller, tenant, landlord, so you see how easy it is. If you've been in the room, you know that there's only one button you hit here, new. When you hit new, now we're going, Joe Blow is not a seller, it's not a lease, he's a purchaser. So you click on it, and then you're gonna name it Joe Blow. Then you go down here and always select residential, it doesn't matter. And then right here, it says select template. There will be 4 choices for you: buyer, tenant, landlord, and it'll say listing. Well, we know a tenant and we know a listing is a seller. We know landlord is a landlord, and we know that Joe Blow is a buyer. So we're gonna pick buyer template. All you do is you scroll down and hit save. And again, you're gonna be at the white summary square. When you see the white summary square, you go 2 tabs to the right to documents. And here are all the forms that I preload for y'all the first day that you're licensed. And the IBS, you can open it, but why? It's gonna be pre-filled. That last line will have your information, Renee. It has Kay's information. It has Dave's information on that last line, and I do all that for y'all. So now we need to make the customer a client. So we need to open up the buyer rep agreement. I have it templated also. So right here, I'm gonna put Dave Wilson, if he was the buyer. He's married, his wife's name's Hillary. Okay, I don't need the address, he's a buyer. I'm gonna scroll down, and all I do is click on today's date when I meet him, and I usually do about 2 months out. I pick the same day for conformity, and I'm gonna scroll through this, but we're done. This is all pre-filled. So you don't have to do anything. It's got your commission, it's got what you get paid. Okay, everything is done. So I'm just gonna hit save. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna email via Docusign to the buyer for them to sign this. So whatever you're in, whatever document, we're sending to, this is the buyer rep. I just hit e-sign in the left corner. When I hit e-sign, there's always a drop down. And even with my experience, I like to always click it and pick Digital Ink 2.0. And then you're gonna sit this little sentence, select other documents to include. And you're gonna go, oh, okay, well, the buyer rep's already marked because I went into e-sign out of it. I also need to send the IBS. You hit close and you hit next. When you hit next, you get the people that you're gonna be sending it to. So there's 2 buyers, Dave and his wife. Watch when I try to check mark buyer 1. It won't let me. I got to put in an email. Now it'll let me check mark it. I go down to Hillary. I try to check mark her. It won't let me. I got to put an email in. Now, sometimes I use the same email for the spouse as for the other spouse. You just got to let them know that they're going to get 2 emails in a row to the same email. One is going to be for Dave to sign. Once he signs, it goes into La La Land. It comes back and Hillary will sign. Okay. Now, because there's a buyer rep in it, I also want to get it. Because a buyer rep agreement, you got to sign. So I'm the selling agent, and I'm just going to check mark me. And then I'm going to, so I have 3 people. I hit close, and now you can see the order. I don't ever want to be first. I always want to be last. And that's what you're going to want to be. So you just got to remember that Dave's going to get it first, because when you send this, you're going to text Dave, and he's your buyer, and you're going to go, hey, Dave, this is Doug. Remember those forms I talked about that make me your advocate? Those words are strong. Make me your advocate. I just sent them to you. Once you get through them, it's going to go out in La La Land and come back for your wife. Once she signs, will you just text me? And then you'll know to look for it. So all you do is hit next if you're happy with that order. And you sit back and the screen loads with all the forms you're going to send on the left and a little template on the right, or a little legend on the right. So these are all the forms. And what I like to do is I just like to go down real quick and make sure that there's a prompt for everybody. Well, you can see there's a prompt for the 2 buyers, but not for me. I need initial prompt right there. So right here in the drop down, all I do is pick me. Once I pick me, I hit drag and drop, and I just drag my initial. I go to the next page. Because my name's there, this is my initial. Prompt. It's not my initial, actually, it's just a prompt. I go to the 3rd page. I go to the next page. And then I go to the last page. Now that's signature. So I'm going to pull that over here. And then right there, you see date. I'm going to pull that there. And boom, I hit next. I hit send. Just went to them.
Okay, how did they Docusign it? How did they actually?
Well, this is Docusign, but it's called ZipLogic. It's free for realtors. So they're going to get it by email. They're going to click on it. It's going to pull that up, and it's going to say start. And when it says start, it goes right to that initial. They just click, 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 click. Goes out, comes back. The wife goes click, 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 click. And then it says you're done. And then you want them to text you that they both signed, and then now you're looking for it.
Okay.
And then when it comes to you, you'll sign.
Meaning click.
Yeah, because you put yourself down. The neat thing is after you sign, it'll go out and it'll come back to you because it's your account. So whether you're a signer or not, it'll always come back to you.
Right.
I like to be a signer so that it just makes it all clean, and then I can save it with everybody's initials as a PDF. If you don't put your initials down, you're gonna have to find a way to initial it, which means generally, unless you have DocuSign, you're gonna have to print it and then scan it back. So, okay. All right, so now let's act like we're gonna write an offer. So right now, we're still in this transaction. Let's say that you screw the pooch and you accidentally hit the back button too much. And you're like, oh crap, I just lost everything. Right down here, these boxes, those are your transactions. And remember the transaction was called Dave? All I do is click on it. And when I click on it, I'm gonna have that white summary tab. And I just go 2 tabs over to documents. Boom, I'm right back. Okay, now that's Dave as a seller. There's Joe Blow. Remember, he was the buyer, sorry. So you see it there, you go 2 tabs over, and what we just did is we sent the IBS and the buyer rep. Now we're gonna write a contract up. Now, when you write a contract up, you're gonna have the agent MLS sheet and the tax roll on both sides of your computer. And I'm gonna show you how to get to that afterwards. But we're assuming in this training that we have that. That's what I trained on Wednesday and I posted on YouTube, is that you have an agent, full report, and the tax roll. So now you open up the 1 to 4 family contract, you just click on it. When it opens, most of it's templated. So paragraph 1, let's say the seller's name on the tax roll was Doug Smith. And let's say the wife was Shannon Smith, okay? And then you're looking at the tax roll and it says it's Lot H, Block 4, Crystal Creek subdivision, City of Plano, Collin County, known as 8005 Fall Meadow Circle. Tab, and you put in the zip code. All right, you go down, and let's say that when you're looking at the agent full report, there's a chandelier in my dining room that I want to take with me. Chandelier in dining room. On the pre-approval letter, Dave is the buyer, and he's putting 20% down, and the offer is $500,000. So that means $100,000. That means the loan amount is $400,000. When you tab, it automatically equals $500,000. There's no leases of people or persons or things, so I'm not doing paragraph 4. Paragraph 5, we're going to close here at Truly Title. The address is 2901 Dallas Parkway. Everybody with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
And I sometimes put a comma and put in the vet, Davis. Earnest money is going to be $5,000, and I already have $100 for the option. $100 for an option is not going to work in this market right now. I'm not going to accept $100 if I'm the seller. I'm probably going to look at $1,000. And you don't put anything in these 2 blanks. Right here, the 10 days, that's how many days you're going to buy. And again, in this market, that ain't going to happen either. I'll counter that to 5 days. So if I'm a good agent when I'm working with Dave, I'm going to advise him to make it $1,000 and make it a 5-day option. Right here, we have the title policy. I template it that the seller pays it. Seller's not going to pay it in this market. So you're going to uncheck market and make buyer. You're going to put Truly Title here. You'll always put the same title company here that is in paragraph 5. Okay? They'll match always. Okay? Everything else is templated. Just leave everything alone. It's crazy, but the whole form is filled. Now, home warranty, 7H. I always put $700 in there. That's what I template. That ain't going to happen either, probably. So closing date, you're gonna, if the home's vacant and you have a lender that can kick ass, I'm gonna put July 30th because I'm trying to get the offer for my buyer accepted. Let's say it's occupied, seller still might want July 30th, but they might need 2 weeks to stay in it. And that means when you go to paragraph 10, I already have, according to a temporary lease, templated. That's always going to be marked. They need 3 weeks to move to stay in the house. So I need to mark this one and unmark that one. And that means that there's going to be a temporary lease. From there, I go all the way to paragraph 21. Paragraph 21, I already have your email here. I've templated it, your email. Kay's email's there, Dave's there. Right here, I'm going to put the buyer's email so that they get notices as well as I do. Paragraph 22, I already have the 2 most commonly used addendums. Under this scenario, there's an HOA, so I'm going to keep those. And then I'm going to have a come to Jesus talk with my buyer and tell them they got to waive the appraisal. So I'm going to mark that. And then we know there's a temporary lease. And let's say that we're asking for the washer, fridge, and dryer. I'm going to go down here to other and type in non-realty, because up here there's not pre-printed non-realty addendum. So if it's already pre-printed, you check mark it. If there's an addendum you're attaching that's not, you mark that and you put it in there. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Let's say the home was built before 1978, right there. Okay. So from there, you go all the way to the second to last page. I've already templated this side. So Kay's name's right here. Kay's license number's right there. Kay's email's right there. Kay's phone number's right there. But everything else is identical. Well, when you have the agent full report, you're looking at it, you need to start typing in everything on the right side that's on the left side, but not go any further down. So you're going to have the same length on both sides, matching perfectly. So let's say it was Ebby Holiday. The license number is 025, whatever. Okay. Go to listing agent. It's Sally Smith. You're going to put her license number. That's going to be on the MLS printout. You're going to put her email. That's going to be there. You're going to put her number. You're going to put her supervisor, Mr. Dick, let's say. 067, he's got a license number. You're going to put an address, and whatever. You're going to put a phone number for the broker, and then you're going to put the city, the state, and the zip code. If you look back at that, it's identical on both sides. Mm-hmm. That's when you know you're done. Okay? Then right here at the top, you hit save, and you wait for it to say saved, past tense. You hit the back button twice, and you're back at your forms. So they're right in order. The next one we need is the information about the HOA. You go to the top, and I don't even know if I've told you, Dave, but what I've been doing recently, this is what's templated. I unmarked that, and I mark this one. Unless it's something dramatic, I say that we don't even want the HOA docs. Now, they're going to be ordered anyway. And then down here, instead of it being a seller expense and a competitive offer, I mark it buyer. And right here, instead of $50, I put $500. That's a good offer. That means that you're not requiring the HOA docs. The buyer's going to pay for them up front. And at closing, the buyer will pay for up to $500. I mean, it's no charge to the seller. You got to know that
it's never going to be more than 500, is it?
Right, and that's why. Yeah, exactly. So not always, but I mean almost always. Okay, so we know that's done. Now we go to third party. It's already pre-filled. Watch this. Caca. First paragraph's already marked. All I got to remember is what's in that blank is what's in 3B boy, and it was 400,000. Remember that? The loan amount. Other than that, this form is done. All you do is hit save. You hit the back button. Okay, the next form that we said is a non-realty addendum. We're going to ask for the washer, fridge, and dryer to stay. Look at that. I already have it templated. Seller leave washer, dryer, and fridge currently in house at time of showing. If you want, you can put the serial numbers, stainless steel. Okay. Now, whenever you see the save button not highlightable, you just got to click something. Okay. So like right now, see how it's not highlightable? Watch when I do this. See, it's still not, but watch when I do this and I change it. $2. And then you hit save. So even if you wanted that to be back to $1, you would just go back and do 1, But you sometimes just got to click on something in here to get the save button to highlight again, if that makes sense. All right, now we're going to go to the lead-based paint addendum. Okay, so you're going to look around and you're going to go, damn, where is that lead-based paint addendum? And what you can see is that I don't freaking have it in here. Oh, there it is up there. Yeah, so see, it says addendum for seller's disclosure of information on lead. You open it, I already have it templated for my buyer. I have the second boxes marked that they have the right to do a lead-based paint inspection. That's what that means, and that I've given them a pamphlet on lead. So I hit the back button, it's already saved. The last one is the addendum concerning the appraisal. And when you open it, let me explain this real quick. There's 3 paragraphs. The first one means this, that offer is $500,000. If my buyer says, I want to mark that, I would say, let's do it. And I'm going to try to fight for the buyer to mark that one. Because what that means is that here's our sales price of $500,000. If the home appraises for $200,000, the buyer's going to increase their down payment $300 to still equal the price. So basically that first one, you need to look at the buyer and say, here's what it means. We're contracted at $500,000. If the home appraises for $1, you got to bring $499,999 in increased down payment. And when the buyer looks at you and goes, done, then they know exactly what you just said. Don't get goofy with some weird numbers that confuse people. I always use the $1 rule. It's perfect. When I look at the buyer and they go, what do you think we should make an offer on? I go, well, I'll never know if we lose it or not. But if I did find out we lost it over $1, I need you to say I wasn't going to go $1 higher. And they completely understand that. That means they're going as high as they can. When they say do a CMA, I'll say, sure, I'll do it. But in this market, it won't matter. You got to go as high as you feel comfortable, where if you lost it over $1 and I found out, which I'll never find out, but if I did, that you would say, that's all right, I wasn't going to go $1 higher. And when you mark that first paragraph under the appraisal waiver, it means that whatever the home doesn't appraise for, it doesn't matter. The buyer's increasing the down payment to still equal the sales price. The second one means that you put a floor in there to protect your buyer. So let's say you're working with a buyer that says, man, I only have 30 grand to increase my down payment. Well, that means you put 470 right there, because 470 and 30,000 equals $500,000. Okay, if you put 400 in that second, you mark the second box and put 400, that means that if the home appraised for 400, the buyer's bringing 100 grand extra down payment to still equal $500,000. Don't even worry about the third one. We don't use it right now. The market is not there. The third one you would use when it's a buyer's market, and right now it's a seller's market. So I'm gonna mark the first one, and obviously have that meeting with the buyer. All right, so now we have it saved. We're ready to e-sign it to my buyer. So whatever form you're in, you hit e-sign. And again, you hit Digital Ink 2.0. You hit select documents. And this is where you have to have a good memory. So you're like, okay, what am I sending here? Well, I'm going to send the 1 to 4, the HOA, third party, non-realty. And then you're like, oh crap, I forgot to do the seller's temporary lease. So you need to close out of this. You got to hit the back button. You got to hit the back button again. And now you're back at the forms, and you got to find the seller's temporary lease in here. There it is. You open it. In this market, a seller's going to get a free lease back. And that's what we're going to recommend here for Dave, Wilson, and Hillary. They're my buyers. And you can
60 days, man.
Yeah. And you can see that I'm the tenant, so I'm the buyer. Dave's the seller. So Dave says in his negotiation, he's like, hey, if we can get a 60-day lease back, that'd be golden. And I mean, if that's going to get me the house and my wife wants it, I'm going to do it. So it's already pre-filled. All you got to do is go to paragraph 3 and know that the only date you put in here is the day the lease expires, because it starts pre-printed when the contract closes in funds. And it says it right there. So you click on this blank, and we were going to close on the 30th. So that means August, September. So you go boom, boom, boom. And then here I like to put NA or 0, just so he knows that no number is going to be asked for rent. Now, anytime there's a $sign, you have to put your cursor in there and double click the space bar in order to put a letter. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Anytime. So you're there, it'll turn green. You can do anything. Yeah, and that's fine. So now I'm going to hit save. So now I'm ready to e-sign. So I go to e-sign, and I hit Digital Ink 2.0 just to confirm. I hit select documents, and I go, okay, what am I sending? Well, I'm sending the 1 to 4 property owner, third party, non-realty. There's a temporary lease, and then I need the appraisal waiver. Okay, so I hit close, and you can see that's a crap load of forms. Okay, and you hit next. You're going to get a list of them. Well, you're going to mark the buyer, and you're going to mark the second buyer. Now, I don't mark anybody else, because what's going to happen is when I send this, it's going to go to the buyers. It's going to eventually come back to me as a PDF, and I can save it as a PDF and send it to the other agent. Because a lot of agents don't know how to use Docusign, and when you pick the listing agent as the third signer, they call you back and go, I don't even know what I'm looking at. So I just to stop that becoming an issue, I just let my buyer sign it. Is that what you do?
Always.
Yeah, and then it just comes back to you. You save it as a PDF. It'll say click here, and here will be highlightable. You click on here, you save it, then you send it to the other agent as a PDF, and the second email will be the pre-approval. And you'll just text the agent, hey, Renee, this is Doug Smith with DHS Realty. I just sent you an offer via PDF, and the email right behind it is the pre-approval letter. Will you just confirm when you got it? Okay, so that means I'm only going to have 2 people. And again, I want to make sure that I'm going to let Dave know it's going to hit him first and hit Hillary second. Sometimes you have people married and they do care about what order they get it. And so I have always learned to just a simple text, hey Dave, I'm about to send it to you. Any order who receives it? And he's like, oh yeah, let Hillary get it first. So I'm like, oh, okay, no problem. Oh yeah, for sure. So
you know who wants to sign first.
And sometimes there's, yeah. So let's say that he said that. I go, oh, okay, well, let me make her first then. And then I got to make Dave too. And then I hit next. I wait.
You can also just drag that instead of switching the numbers, right?
Yeah, yeah. I just, old school. All right, so all the form's going to load on the left, and you're just going to have that little legend there, okay? All right, so here's all the forms, and they all should be, there, but I'm just going to double check, make sure it shows prompts for everybody. Okay, and I've been doing it long enough. I know that at this point, there's prompts for everything. So I'm just going to hit next, send, boom, it just went to them, okay? All right, so in the time remaining, I'm going to cover MLS just to make sure we're on the same page. Dave's like a pro now, so I appreciate him coming because he probably teaches us. So this is MLS. So what we just covered real quick is texasrealestate.com, okay? And that's this website, and there's zip forms right there. You're going to have to know this like the back of your hand. We train on it all the time. The other website that you're going to need to know is called the MLS, and the website is matrix.netris.net. So I'm going to do this for about 10 minutes, and then we'll be done. When you get your login, when you get licensed, Renee, you'll go to this website. Well, I'll do it with you, and we'll clean up your MLS. And you'll have your license number with a 0, and you'll have your own password. And when you hit enter, it'll take you to a bunch of boxes. And you always pick the box in the left corner, right here, matrix. Once you click that, you're going to see this screen. Almost everybody in our company has this screen like this. It just makes it conform. So when we train, everybody knows what we're looking at. On the left are going to be all the people that ever do open up a home search. So those are buyers of mine, and it changes every day. And it's what is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 11. So I'm showing this guy tonight, Parker, and you can see he favorited homes, okay, at 6:43 a.m. So when you click on the heart, it takes you to the 9 properties that he favorited. And it shows you that one went under contract already right there. See, it says active option. So I'm showing him these first 4 tonight. And basically what I did is I marked them, and then I hit directions. And it tells me the order to hit them in. So now I can text him and say, hey, where do you live? And he's like, oh, I live up in Frisco. And I'm like, oh, you want to meet at 1 first, and then we'll end up down here? Or do you want to start down here in Plano and end up in Frisco? And if he goes, I'd rather start in Plano, then I know I'm going to go 4, 3, 2, 1. If it's up here, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. If he lives right here, I'm going to go maybe 2, 3, 4, 1. You see what I'm saying? But at least it doesn't make you look like an idiot that you're, traversing back and forth 5 times. And so that's kind of cool. All right, back to the dashboard. This will always be the dashboard. One of the things I do right when you get licensed is next to me, you'll let me know your cell phone. I'll go right here to summary. I'll go to settings. I go to portal notifications. and I put your phone number in, your provider, and then I have a number sent to you. I tell you to text it back to me, and then I basically save it. And that means, like, for me, whenever somebody favorites a home, I get a text message. I talked about it in class, that, you know, that's what you need to do no matter what firm you're with, is you need to set up your MLS where it's going to be proactive. So I do that for everybody. Back to the dashboard. Okay, once you get people who are looking at your searches, they'll pull up here. Let's say that, Renee, you were driving down the road and saw a listing and you're like, hey, is 8005 Palmetto available? If you had this on your phone, which I have as a desktop at home, I would just go right here and type in 8005 because it says street number, F for F, and hit return. It's going to pull up everything since 2003 that starts with 8005 and the F word. And then I could go, oh, there's Palmetto. Okay. So that's a super simple way to pull up properties, especially single properties. Now, if you call me on that property, it could be that on Zillow, it's still showing active. I'm never going to tell you that it's under contract yet. I'm going to say, yeah, when you want to look at it, and I'm going to set the appointment. And then knowing that that is under contract, when I pull it up, I'm going to say, oh, let me look at the specs on this one. So I look at it, and then I'm going to send you a new search. So again, right here, you hover over search and you go residential quick. And this is cleaned up to where you're only sending actives. You go over here and go 0-500,000. You go Plano, and you see there's 104 homes. So I might say, oh, what did you want? 1997 and newer. And you say yes. And now there's 15. I hit results. There's a single line of all of them. Now, right here, if you have 25 or 10 right there, that means it's only going to show the first 25. So I like to hit that drop down and always pick 100. And then you hit this rotary and you put save this. And that way, from now on, every search I ever do will show the first 100. And that gives you the most to look at. So if this was a list and I wanted to send it to you, all I would do is hit save and new auto email. And this screen at the bottom, when I hit save, I just emailed them to you. So I either have you in my drop down or I have to create a new client. So if I create a new client, and her name was Betty Buyer, I'd make the email, and then all you do is hit save, and there she is. In the subject line, I'm going to put homes, and then I'm going to go to the bottom, and I'm going to hit save, and I just emailed it to you. And then I'm going to text you, hey, Renee, this is Doug. I just want to let you know that home tonight is not available anymore. I did make the appointment for 6. Check your email. I sent you 15 properties in Plano, the same criteria. I'd be happy to knock out 4 or 5 of them tonight. And, you know, let me know. Now I'm going to send you my electronic business card. I'm going to have a relationship, you know, via text.
Once I got used to doing this, now I can do it on my phone.
Oh, I love it.
Yesterday I was sitting in Chipotle. I stopped off to grab a bite to eat, and I got a call from a new client. It was actually an Op-City referral. Mm-hmm. And she's like, yeah, I'm looking for condos. And she just told me, I was like, how many bedrooms? Yeah, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, got on my phone.
It's crazy because that's a website. Yeah.
Yeah. I went in there and I entered all this, and I sent her an auto search within 10 minutes of her calling me. And I guarantee you, she's like, holy shit, this guy knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, no, for sure.
It's awesome.
Now with Dave, let's say that Dave starts to buy leads, and let's say he's buying leads in Plano. Okay. Well, he just did a search 0-500,000. Let's say that let's say he has a listing, and it's that listing on Palmetto, and he's getting calls pretty regularly. Mm-hmm. Well, he doesn't want to go in every time and do that same search. Right. So if you look in the right corner, it says recent searches. Mm-hmm. Yep. If I click on that, the very first search is that Plano search. It's going to show 15 homes right now. So I don't have to go in every time and redo that search. Now I can go straight to save, new auto email, and put the next buyer in.
Have I showed you my M Street search?
No, let me finish this first.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many it goes back, but I think it's over 100 that it'll just keep going down. So when you get a listing, the whole goal of a listing is to get buyer leads off it. So even when the home's under contract, I'm not a fan of putting a contract pending sign on it because I want calls to still come in. Right. And also you should tell the seller, like, hey, life's futile, you know, I mean, it's fragile also. And we might be under contract with a cash buyer, they could die. Yeah. Now you put a contract pending sign, everybody's written that off in their mind when they drive by it. So let's keep that sign off. And the seller usually goes, hey, I think that's a good idea. Then that means you're also getting leads from it. Right. And whenever you get leads, you just say, yeah, when do you want to look at it? And then you get off the phone then you do this, boom, recent search, send it to them like he did. You text it, hey, I just sent you that search, and you could be showing, this evening. All right, real quick, and then we'll be done. Let's say that somebody wants to look at leases, okay? Well, you log in and your screen always looks like this, generally. Now, you can mess around with it, but that's what we default to. You're going to hover over search. That's for houses. We just did. You go here, and that's residential leases. And you go residential lease quick. So let's say that somebody called and said, hey, I want everything in Frisco 0 to 5,000. You go here, you type in Frisco. They also said Plano. They said the Colony. Okay, so at the comma with no space, you can see there's 160. Now that's condos and townhomes and houses. So I'm going to mark just houses. It goes to 139. They say they want 1997 and newer. It goes down to 78. It says they want a 4-bedroom minimum. It goes to 57. You hit results. And again, you hit save, new auto email. Well, now let's say that it's a repeat customer. They're already in the drop down. You just select them, Joe Blow. Here you put lease homes. Go to the bottom, hit save, and boom, you just emailed them properties. So again, that's kind of how we do it here. I mean, that was a training that was kind of quick. I don't even know how many people we have on. So we didn't have a lot of people. We have about 147 agents as of right now. So it's pretty sad, only 3 people. But I don't think anybody called in either. Yeah, but that's all right because I do it no matter what. So I'm going to stop the recording and I'll just hang.